Today we catch up with Angela Asbell, a college professor, artist, and active community person. So, Angela, you're teaching online. What is your setup like?
Oh, okay. So, a lot of like because of COVID and everything, a lot of schools have had to go online, partially or fully online. Our campus went fully online, and we know that we're going to be fully online at least probably through the summer, next summer. Um, on one hand, I'm really grateful to have a job that gives me that kind of professional discretion. I think it's best for me and for my students. But it is also has been kind of a bummer because my favorite part of teaching is like the classroom dynamic. That's how I really get to know my students. What I've been doing for emergency over spring um, term and then summer term and now fall term, I've been doing online, mostly asynchronous, pretty much 100% asynchronous. And it's something that I've kind of argued for based on my own experience with my students, saying that they have trouble getting online with some, I don't know, with the regular schedule. I'll usually do some kind of poll for my students about what their kind of internet setup is or how they're accessing the course online. And a lot of them are using their own phones. That's it. Um, how do you write? I'm a writing teacher mostly. And how do you write on a phone? That's like, I'm not talking crap about that, but that's definitely like, whoa, right? And then they've also expressed that it's hard for them to meet synchronously. So I've basically had to do, if I do any kind of face to face, then it's been in office hours. And most of the time, if I lecture, and I tend to lecture very little, then it's short little recordings that pose some key questions, and then I kind of send it off to them and then have them do readings, and then we talk on like a discussion board and stuff. So on one hand, again, I'm really grateful to be able to reduce my risk for infection, but it's also been such a bummer because it's just not the same. It's not like, basically my favorite part is missing, and now it just feels like a lot of grading and and trying to get stuff ready on time for them. There's a lot of work that goes in the front end, and then yeah, and then answering a lot of questions, the same question individually for, I have about 100 and almost 150 students, I think this, is that right? 125, I think this term.
Wow.
So yeah, it's like I still really love teaching, but it's been hard. It's kind of grating on the nerves and anxiety.
hmm But that's really cool that you're taking into a lot of, the issues that are going on with access and your concerns for the students. That's really good.
Yeah,
Um,
some of them have to, sorry,
yeah,
some of them have to, in order to access the internet, they have to go to like hotspots, like Starbucks or something. Something that our school offered is there's like a parking garage that's all wired up now, so students could drive in and do their classes from their cars. And it's like on one hand, that's great, but I just wish for much more. I think this could have been a really good opportunity to show what education can do instead of what capitalism can do.
a free and open internet for all.
Yes, exactly.
Well, are you involved with any educational projects outside of the university?
Yeah, right now, or it just ended. So, because of the extrajudicial killings of Black people by police, that's been happening as long as our history of policing has been, but especially this spring and summer, it's been we've seen a resurgence basically of one of the biggest kind of human rights, like kind of um, movements that we've ever seen in our history. So I know, I was trying to show up for the demonstrations and everything. In fact, the very first time I went out for COVID, after COVID hit, like I really, really took it seriously because I catch everything. I feel like, so I hung out with nobody and like got, just zero, almost zero contact except for like my housemates. But my cousin, he's 21, he reached out to me, and after kind of this because he's young, he kind of was just kind of learning about it. Like he knew because we talked a bit about it, but I think he's finally at the age and like in college and stuff where he's starting to really understand what was happening. And so he asked me, he's like, next time you go to a protest, can I go with you? And I was like, well, and actually, and I said that was quite a while ago, I think. And I was like, yeah, next time, like if there's one you're interested, let me know. But then when that very, very, very big one happened in Riverside, like with thousands of people, he reached out to me and he asked if I was going and if he could go with me if I was, because he knew that I kind of knew my way around protests and he was unsure, he wasn't sure what was going to happen. So yeah, we like made a plan and everything for him so that he felt, fairly comfortable. I mean, as comfortable as we can going. And I kind of promised him, I was like, I'll, keep an eye out kind of thing. I don't, we talked about how we expected, it's like if you think that anybody who's attending the protest is going to cause a problem, I can tell you based on my like 20 years of experience that it's always the police first. So like we'll be very careful about the police. So we ended up going and we talked a lot about it. And it was so I was happy to be part of that kind of education. And then a little later, Black Lives Matter Inland Empire asked me to kind of sit in on some of their white comrade education classes.
Hmm.
So they just ended, but they plan on starting them up again in the new year. And the idea is you pay a small fee. I think it's like $5 or something to join the class. And then there are a series of readings and stuff that we would do and talk. Just to make it clear, I wasn't like an organizer. I was just kind of asked to contribute because I've done groups like this before. Like a group at the Blood Orange Info Shop was called Abolishing White Supremacy course. So I was interested in getting involved with it, and they let me kind of sit in with them. And the last book we read was Settlers, and I highly recommend it. It's probably showing up backwards, yes. Okay, sorry. Perfectly Sober. This is tea. So, but I highly recommend this book, and I just wanted to mention it. Mention Black Lives Matter Inland Empire to give them a shout out because they're still doing really great work. They're still going to do white comrade education and black and brown unity education. They just got a space in San Bernardino. Black and Brown Underground just got like a huge community space in San Bernardino, and they're fundraising to try to, yeah, to build and maintain the space. So I just want to encourage everybody to go to their social media. Instagram, I think, would be a better choice. I've seen them on Facebook, but you know how Facebook is. So I think Instagram, either of those, you can go and check them out and find out about their latest actions. Um, there was recently, for example, a man, Mark Bender, who was murdered by a police officer in San Bernardino just like a couple weeks ago. And they jumped in immediately to give support to the family, and they're trying to organize around that. They also have a couple of other campaigns going for local, like Inland Empire people. So maybe you can do one of those things where you flash up their social media or something up at the end of this or something. That'd be great.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. What is your so finally, what is your album of the week, new or old?
Oh, I love this question. It's been for a while, but I can't stop listening to it still. Like it's been out at least a year, if not 2 years. And I think it's been out about a year. It's a Rhapsody, Eve, and each story is about a woman who has inspired her, and it is fucking banging. It is so I can't even I can't please listen to this album, listen to every single track, listen to the lyrics, pay attention to the people who are guesting on these tracks. It is an amazing album.
Sweet, sweet. Cool. Well,
Cheers.
Angela, thank you for sharing, and thank you for, giving us some perspectives on what's going on. And I
Thanks.
appreciate
Thanks so
it.
much.
Thank you.
Miss you, Elliot.
I miss you too, Angela. See you soon.
Oh, see you soon. Hydrate. Staring contest. You and me.